The British MP George Galloway says he was manhandled by Egyptian intelligence officers before getting deported from Egypt. Upon his arrival at London's Heathrow Airport, he told Press TV that Egypt is a dictatorship complicit in oppressing the Palestinians. Roshan Mohammed Saleh has more.
George Galloway was in no mood to mince his words upon his arrival at Heathrow Airport from Cairo. He said he was manhandled by Egyptian intelligence officers before being deported and told never to come back.
I'm sorry to say that Egypt is deeply implicated in this siege. That's the reason for their revenge on me, and I hope not on the rest of the convoy. I hope they'll stop at me. They hate these convoys because they expose the existence of a siege that Egypt denies.
For the past month, Galloway has led the Viva Palestina humanitarian aid convoy, which has travelled all the way from London to Gaza to deliver aid to its besieged people. But the Egyptian authorities, who together with Israel are enforcing a strict economic blockade on the Palestinian people, did not welcome the convoy's arrival and even assaulted some of its members. Egyptian police also beat another group of Gaza peace activists in Cairo, hitting women and injuring many. These activists were forced to admit defeat and headed back home.
I think Britain's relationship with this dictatorship should be reviewed, because all dictatorships fall and their dungeons are cleared and their victims are released, and then the dictators run away with what they can steal and their torturers hang from the highest trees.
The Viva Palestina convoy and its 200 or so vehicles eventually arrived in Gaza to a hero's welcome a few days ago and handed over medical aid to the Hamas government. However, there's concern that hundreds of convoy members who are yet to leave the area will be mistreated as well. But despite his anger, Galloway said he wouldn't heed mounting calls for a boycott on Egypt.
I know that the regime, as I say, gorges itself on the billions of US dollars that it's given, leaving their people hungry. And they will not be affected by that kind of boycott. The only people who will be affected are the poor Egyptians.
The Egyptian authorities have called the Viva Palestina convoy members hooligans who provoke violence with the Egyptian police. And they insist that they do let humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip, but rules and regulations have to be respected. George Galloway was clearly furious when he arrived here at Heathrow Airport earlier on, and he seemed genuinely surprised that the Egyptian authorities had treated him the way they had. But he says despite his experience, it won't deter him in future from organising further Viva Palestina convoys to break the siege of Gaza. Roshan Mohammed Saleh, Press TV, at Heathrow Airport in London.